Hey friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. So SummerSlam is mere days away. I don't know what you guys are doing, but if you want to hang out with WrestleJuice, I'll be over at the Going and Raw stuff, youtube.com/Steven Larson or twitch.tv/Steven Larson. We'll be doing our live watch along, and then right afterwards we give our podcast length review, and then the next day we do our star ratings over the Friendo Club Wrestling channel, and then I'm going to do your hot takes right here at WrestleJuice. SummerSlam is a big deal. And I wanted to throw you guys something a little bit different in advance of SummerSlam. So I put up a community thread and I asked for your guys' predictions on SummerSlam. I'm not just talking about who's going to win, who's going to lose. I want to know what plot twists we're going to get. I want to know what story beats we're going to get. I want to know who's going to debut, who's going to return, what's going to happen. And you guys offered me up a ton of good predictions. I haven't even looked at all these yet. I've just looked at a couple of them and I like them a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and dig through these. These are my honest to God reactions. I haven't looked at most of these before I went live here. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, first up from I Am Thurnis. He says, Dom turns on Rhea just for Liv to leave him high and dry on an island all by himself. Could you guys imagine 2 turns during the Rhea Liv match if Dominic turned on Rhea and helped Liv? And then, because this seems kind of obvious at this point, Finn Balor's got to be involved with Liv Morgan. There are too many clues out there. And then Finn and Liv turn on Dom. And so nobody likes this guy. I'm trying to figure out exactly what would get him the bigger reaction that WWE wants. Do they want him to get that nuclear heat, turn on Rhea Ripley, join Liv Morgan? Or are they going to want to see what happens when Dom Mysterio doesn't turn on Rhea and instead maybe backs out of the situation? I'm just stealing this from Larson, by the way. Backs himself out of the situation and then eventually makes the save for Rhea and Damien, who clearly are like besties, and gets like a huge pop for that. I don't know which direction they're going to go with Dominic Mysterio. I'm not even entirely convinced he's going to turn on Rhea at this point. I think he might stick with Rhea and Finn's going to be doing the turn, but I like this scenario right here. Dom turns on Rhea just for Liv to be like, peace, dude. I don't need your business anymore. I got what I wanted. Ooh, that could be good stuff. Ooh, I'm just trying to do something. Says Seth screws both Drew and Punk out of having an actual winner just to be as petty. I like the idea of this one. I like the idea of this one, but at SummerSlam, you get one shot for sure at a CM Punk match in 2024. I feel like there's got to be a winner here. Right now, I'm leaning towards Drew McIntyre being that winner. And then maybe they can pick up a CM Punk Seth Rollins feud. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Seth helps Punk doing the one thing he doesn't want him to do. I'm going to steal this one from Larson because he had this scenario. I think it's a great one. CM Punk criticizes Drew McIntyre for getting too caught up in emotions and get too distracted, right? That's his thing on Drew McIntyre. It's true. It's what Drew McIntyre does. So the finish of the match is CM Punk gets too distracted by that damn bracelet, takes it off Drew McIntyre, but that distraction allows Drew McIntyre to get the upper hand, hit the Claymore, and get the pin on CM Punk as CM Punk clutches the family band. The poetry there is just too damn good. They got to do that. Ozzy's got it right here. As a final troll to Punk, Drew reveals himself as the real world's champion. As always, if you guys bring up the AEW Real World's Championship, which debuted a year ago, 3 days ago, you'll always make it on the show. All right, Tyler Warden here says Roman Reigns will return with Paul Heyman to keep Solo from winning against Cody. During the post-match celebration, Heyman hits Reigns in the back with a chair. The crowd erupts as Heyman raises Cody's hand. The Rock's music hits and he comes to the ring and dons Cody with the Ula Fala. Cody's the new tribal chief. Throw your ones up for the new tribal chief, Cody Rhodes. Tyler, that doesn't make a lick of sense. It's a mess. I love it. What would the crowd do? They'd go crazy. That is the worst booking I've ever heard, but I love it. It's so ridiculous. Good job. You get an A for effort and imagination. All right, AVP says it'll be Jimmy that returns and not Roman. This will build up Jimmy getting his family back as a team for War Games, and Triple H will pull a last-minute entrance pop like they did Orton for Roman as the final member. So similar to Orton showing up when the Survivor Series last year, the idea is Roman will show up at Survivor Series this year, and that'll be his big return. Man, here's the problem with this. I kind of really feel like the crowd is going to be chanting for Roman, not Jimmy, and I don't know that's the swerve that you want. Now, if people were chanting for Jimmy and instead they got Roman and it was, oh man, I got an even bigger surprise than I thought. Jimmy will be back soon. I have no doubt about that. I think it's got to be Roman at SummerSlam. That's what people are really expecting, and you got to deliver on that. All right, I like this one from Canal Zero. Rusev will return to confront Braun Breaker. You got to figure Triple H probably likes Rusev. I think Triple H will probably get Rusev back into the fold, I would think. He's got to get his release from AEW first, though. The Anime Fan says Nia will be betrayed by Miss Money in the Bank because, as Tiffy says, the world revolved around her. It's going to be interesting to see how they pull off this Nia Jax thing. I kind of feel like because Nia is going to be gifting Tiffany a brand new Money in the Bank briefcase, they're going to want Tiffany to hold on to that for a little while. I suspect Tiffany's going to try to cash in. She'll be thwarted. There won't be an official cash in. And then there's going to be that tension between her and Nia Jax going forward. I don't think Nia's going to win at SummerSlam, though, because I think eventually Tiffany's going to cash in on Bayley. It's just not going to be successful at SummerSlam. Oh, I kind of like this. Jakizi says AJ Lee jumps the guardrail in an effort to help CM Punk, but unfortunately takes a McIntyre Claymore. So when I first started reading that, I didn't know AJ Lee was going to take a Claymore. Damn. Oh, wow. That's violent. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'll be honest with you. That'd be pretty ballsy if it did. Kamari Best says, after Roman gets down beating Solo, Rock's music hits, revealing himself as the mastermind behind New Bloodline. I don't know if they're going to bust out The Rock at SummerSlam. I think The Rock's going to... I personally feel like The Rock is going to be the mastermind behind the New Bloodline. I don't think it's going to happen at SummerSlam, though. But, hey, that roof will come off if it does. Nick says Finn and JD will turn on Judgment Day. Finn will be revealed to be the puppeteer this whole time. I think it's going to be a Finn Live thing. That's what I think. But that earlier one, that first one I read about Dom being left out, I kind of like that too. Luis Reyes says Sammy retains. That's it. That's the crazy shit that's going to happen. That would be crazy. What do you guys think would happen to Braun Breaker if he just loses to another single haluva kick? I don't think that's possible. I think Braun Breaker's totally going to win at SummerSlam. I think I've got most of my confidence points on that in my prediction. Wow, Damon Arden says Jimmy and Jay will return with Roman, but The Rock will spoil the return and cost Cody the title. You guys think that this is going to be an all-out WrestleMania level type situation at SummerSlam? That'd be kind of interesting if The Rock basically caused Solo to become the new champion. I don't think Solo's got much of a chance of that championship, but I guess you never know. Gorilla Mon says, I don't think we get Roman yet. It seems obvious he'll return and it'd make all the sense, but something in my gut tells me it might be a little too obvious, too good to be true. Man, that crowd is going to be disappointed if they don't get Roman, but it wouldn't be the first time they're disappointed. Oh, here we go. Ad Savage has the return booked. Right after Solo hits the Samoan spike on Cody, Paul Heyman returns, looks at Solo for like a good 30 seconds and then throws up the one. And that leads to Roman Reigns' music hitting. Oh, look at that. That's some good booking right there. I like that. That's pretty good, actually. Oh, shit. Here we go. Who is this? FRJ says, just as Tiffany's about to cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase following the women's title match, Charlotte Flair returns from injury to save Bayley from harm. Bayley is confused over why her long-term rival is helping her, but the pair stand tall to end the segment with questions over Charlotte's intentions being asked ahead of the following SmackDown. Hey, I like that. Look at that. That's pretty good. I don't know if Charlotte's ready. Man, it seemed like she was making a lot of really good progress there on the knee injury. So maybe it's possible she can come back. That's a possibility here. I like that. Oh, I could see this one. Kamari says after Drew pins Punk, he immediately hits to one of them short two-step claymores on Seth. I think that, man, I could see that shit happening. I could see that happening. All right, laugh at this one. JMC says Carlito goes into the newly rebuilt Judgment Den, sees there's an Xbox instead of a PlayStation, and says, that's not good. I like that. That's a good one. Dr. Howie says Brock Lesnar will cost Gunther his title match, setting up their match. He says, I don't care if this happens. I just think it will. I wonder how many people would actually pop big for Brock Lesnar. I think the idea of Brock versus Gunther is probably something a lot of people would be interested in. The only question is, would Brock play ball? Because you know Triple H loves Gunther. And I don't know if it'd be one of those weird things where Brock insists on like 3 matches. And they're kind of like, whenever Gunther wins, it's just sort of like, not like a real win, like he gets a sneak up roll. I like the Cody thing. Cody won the first one, Brock won the second one, and then Cody actually got to beat Brock in the third one. Brock likes to protect himself. I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know if Triple H is down with that kind of stuff. Oh, wow. 54 Gaming says Dom turns on Rhea, not in her match, but Priest versus Gunther, causing Priest to lose the title that leads to Priest versus Dom at Bash in Berlin. Then it'll be Dom versus Rhea at Bad Blood. I wouldn't say 100% that we're never going to get a Rhea Ripley versus a dude match. If we did, this would be the match. But I'd be kind of surprised if they did that. Carson Boytrin says, Robert Downey Jr. returns as Vince McMahon. Oh my God. I wonder how much money he'd get for that. Probably not going to be that Marvel money. Here we go. Log D says Jimmy saves Jay and Cody from a beatdown. Bad Bloodline adds Hikuleo the next night. So no Roman, according to Log D. Oh no, Kenny Johnson says, you want crazy? How about Solo beats Cody, then The Rock shows up and Solo hands him the title? Oh man. Well, that'd be something else. Oh wow, Ab says Seth screws Punk the way Punk screwed Drew at Clash of the Castle. 1, 2, and no 3 there. Maybe. Hey, dude, you might be onto something there. They might reference that Clash of the Castle bit with Punk and the referee shirt. That's a possibility. Oh wow, Vuck says Braun wins the IC belt and Ricochet returns to confront him. I think AEW's probably already signed Ricochet. I think he's going to show up in the Dynamite after All In. Maybe be Ospreay's opponent All Out. I don't know. Braun, yeah, Ricochet returns, but yeah, I could, yeah, maybe. How about this? How about Daniel Garcia, who evidently is a free agent right now? How about he shows up to confront Braun, but he is Ricochet. They just redub him. They just put the Ricochet tights on, tries to do some crazy high-flying shit, but like that's not really his thing. Oh my God, what is this? Pittsburgh Kid says, Heyman forms a new faction to take on the Bloodline. Lesnar, Reigns, Punk, and the Usos versus the Bloodline plus Hikuleo, but they'll also get attacked by ECW alum, the Dudleys, RVD, Sabu, and Dreamer, and Paulie turns back the clock. Again, A for imagination. Wow, that last part, though, was a lot. Brandon Will Win says Solo wins, but Pierce restarts the match. Then Randy comes out, seemingly to help Cody, but he RKOs him instead, so Roman comes out and spears Randy. Cody retains. Here's the problem with this. Randy wants Cody to keep the title so Randy can fight Cody for the title, because I think fighting Cody for the title is easier than fighting the whole bloodline for it. But that's good. Holy shit. John the Drummer says Jack Perry interferes and costs CM Punk the match. My head would fucking explode. What would AEW need in return to lend WWE Jack Perry for this one match? What would AEW have to get in return? Let me know in the comments below. That's going to do it for your predictions, man. I thought this was a lot of fun. We'll have to do this for maybe All In. Maybe I'll go back to doing some AEW stuff here at the channel. So yeah, wait, what is next? Is All In? No, Bash at Berlin is next. Yes, Bash at Berlin I think is next. And then is AEW. I think then is All In or All Out. There's too much wrestling, guys. There's too much wrestling.